Live and Live. Buy original, be original. SON.
It's a global fact that every human, regardless of status, class, and creed, desires quality and strives to achieve a standard living. Whether in education, politics, religion, or any other human endeavor, there are standards to be observed if one must derive value for resources or energy spent. Nations the world over invest billions on technology and resources to achieve quality in the production of goods. In Nigeria, regardless of the infrastructural gap, industries have remained resolute and committed to stay in business. In a relatively competitive environment, these local manufacturers, with the support of government agencies like the Standards Organization of Nigeria, have continued to produce quality goods that compete favorably with imported ones. What are the ingredients these companies, especially small and medium enterprises, are introducing to their business? Why is the Standards Organization of Nigeria committed to support these industries, and at what cost? There is so much we shall unveil to you on this edition of Standard and You, if only you sit back and stay tuned when I return after this message. My name is Ifoma Okonkwo.
The Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, brings a new lease of life to Nigeria SMEs. SON has put a greater premium on developing standards to improve made in Nigeria products for export. We have developed more standards for products like sesame, cocoa, gari, and more, courtesy of our accredited state-of-the-art laboratories. In keeping with the federal government's ease of doing business, SON has simplified its processes and turned around time for SUNCAP, MANCAP, and other certification processes. SON has intensified market surveillance, raids, and seizures to reduce substandard products in circulation, and offenders shall be prosecuted. Join SON in ridding our nation of substandard products. If you see something, say something. Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving lives through standards.
Glad to have you on the program. Yes, our program, Standard and You. It's authoritative and by our standard, and Nigeria's only platform on television where you get to know more about product safety and quality. It's an initiative of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, the SON, showing on the station at this time every Monday. Don't miss it. Did you know that there is a conscious plan by the present administration through the Standards Organization of Nigeria to develop vibrant small and medium enterprises, SMEs, in Nigeria? The SON has and is still providing small industries with basic support to make them competitive and relevant in the global market. How is the agency achieving this, and what is it bringing to bear to change the operations of SMEs in the country? I have the agency's Director of Standards, Chinyere Egwon, with me in the studio to provide answers to these questions and more. But that will be after this report, with special focus on the impact of SON support on the manufacturing sector. Please take a look.
These are some local manufacturers who have demonstrated resilience and faith in the Nigerian business environment, even in the face of daunting challenges. These operators have gone beyond lamentation and re-echoing of the various infrastructural challenges, but taken a step further to taking advantage of the huge opportunities to reposition their businesses. A large number of such business operators, especially small and medium enterprises, SMEs, are working with the Standards Organization of Nigeria to overhaul their production processes through the implementation of standards.
What the SON do when they come here is to inspect what we do. They move to the production section, and sometimes they tell us that our workers, we are not dressing properly, and they guide us on what they're supposed to do. which we do follow. They come on monthly basis. When they come, they do such inspections and go. We are friendly with them. We appreciate what they do because some of the things they actually instruct us upon, we don't know them. And through their instructions, I think we abide by their rules. And it helps us a lot.
When we first started, we were in a learning process, so they came in, they looked at our inventory management system, they looked at our raw material system, they looked at our personnel system, and started training us on everything, including meter calibration. So right now we are up to the ISO standard because we make sure that we go every 3 months for mandatory training. And they come and test all these meters. Like when we are making these meters here and as you're bringing it down from the bench, they just come in and say, yes, we want to test your meters. And they have a mobile calibration shop that they use to make sure that our meters are properly calibrated.
When they come for inspection, they always spend the whole day in our laboratory so that they will test the quality, how we produce all the products. Then together with the quality control officer in the lab, they will do everything, and where there is need for us to adjust, they will tell us, and they will even give us the mandates within the frame time that they will come to check whether we have complied with this. And when it is good, they always issue us certificate of compliance. And if any product has failed the lab test, they will tell us so that the end users will not reject the products.
This kind of strategic intervention by the SON has significantly led to a drastic improvement of their businesses, leading to increased patronage of their products and services.
We benefit by, sometimes the product goes faster through the teaching they give to us, and we packed it back to our workers. So the production outfit is higher. And again, they talked on the quality of the products, which helps us to improve a lot. And because of that, our product moves much in the market.
Well, it has placed us that we are the only 2 between companies from Nigeria that can export. So while some other people come in and they are still trying to get there, if the government gives us the right platform because of what SON is doing, we can take our meters across West Africa, Africa, and even the Middle Eastern market. So that has placed us as a premier and has given us quality. And when you think of quality meters, you think of what Standard Organization has done for us.
They help us to grow in that our customers have not rejected our products based on their advice, which we usually follow.
The beauty of the SON support is that it is at no cost to the manufacturers, who have continued to express gratitude to government for its conscious efforts at developing the real sector. According to the Director General of the SON, Osita Abaloma, the agency goes beyond providing standards but guides the operation of local manufacturers through regular quarterly factory inspections to ensure that these companies maintain standards and produce products that are competitive. This, he explained, is in line with government's resolve to support made-in-Nigeria goods.
We need to continually make people to be aware of what to do, to be aware of the minimum requirements of the standards, the culture of quality assurance. So we do this through sensitization, through roadshows, and outright lectures.
From the southeast to the southwest, down to the northern part of the country, the number of companies taking advantage of SON support are increasing. The Mandatory Conformity Assessment Program, MANCAP, of the SON is a special scheme aimed at tracking processes of local manufacturers to ensure compliance with standards.
The process of getting the MANCAP certificate from them was so interesting, because there are things we don't know about the line of business we are into that they made us to know. which was pretty good experience. And some people will tell us that getting a MANCAP certificate takes thy kingdom come. But I would testify that it does not. Because they got everything, the test, the analysis, everything came out. And before we know it, they called us that our certificate is ready. And it was picked up. You can see it over there by yourself. And since that time, they have been coming for inspection. And when they come, they will tell us, we have to amend this, and we have been following what the instruction they gave to us, and the business is going pretty well for us.
Welcome back. You're watching Standard and You. We're still talking standards and how the SON is providing support to SMEs. SON's Director of Standards, Chinyere Egwon, is still in the studio. She will be providing insight into the SON's activity to grow SMEs. Ma, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, let's begin our conversation on an introductory note. What is standards?
Well, standards. Standard is a document which is developed by consensus. That's everybody agreeing, and must be approved by a recognized body like the National Standard Body. And it provides requirements, contains specification, characteristics for either a product or a service that these products and services must comply to. So generally, standard is a consensus document that contains requirements that must be complied with.
Fantastic. So how do companies benefit from standards, especially SMEs?
For us, we try to encourage SMEs to implement standards, but they cannot implement standards when they are not available. So we go extra mile and make efforts to get their needs, whatever they need, particularly standards that they need to work with. We make sure that those standards are available for them. Apart from that, in implementing the standards, they need to get the standard, uptake the standards, and that means they have to buy the standards. In SON 2, we have gone further ahead to make sure that the rates, that's the price for the standard, is highly subsidized for them. If it is, we have about 25% subsidized price for the standards for them. We've also gone out of our way, trying to also bring them on board, because we should not forget the fact that no matter how small they are over there, they still have some impact. They make some impact on our economy.
Yes.
So we have to also encourage them somehow. We do certification, and that's conformity assessment program for them to have that acceptance or acceptability of their products or services, whatever they are doing in the market, both local and international.
Okay, for SMEs, what's the process of that certification? Is it same with manufacturing companies? Would you say it's the same since they are smaller?
Yeah. Okay. For the SMEs, we have specific requirements for them because, well, they are SMEs. That means they are very small.
Yes.
And medium-scale industries, and so we cannot compare them to the requirements or specifications we're going to give to the multinationals or the big companies. So for them, there are certain things that once they are in place for them, we can also uptake it and carry out the others. For instance, for the multinationals, we expect that they should have certain facilities in place during it, because conformity assessment, just like we have the MANCAP, is a conformity assessment program which involves inspections and testing and the certification of the product or service to a specified standard. So for them, they may not have to have a very big laboratory in place for us to certify them.
Yes.
But we know that where they are. So the other activities that, like the testing, we can uptake and carry them out in our lab, check the performance of their products.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what's the focus and benefits of factory inspections?
Wow. Well, as the term goes, inspections.
Yes.
When you're inspecting, is either you're trying to find out certain things, whether things are in place the way they should be against a particular requirement, which is the standards in this case. So during inspections, we start from the raw materials, even from the gates where the intake of the raw materials from. So we go check through it and make sure that the right raw materials in the right conditions, that's maybe were properly stored in the appropriate conditions, and make sure that also that they have at least a few checks they would have done. Maybe if the raw materials are coming from outside, they should have something, a certificate that will show that at least they have done some certain tests on that raw material, because the SMEs may not have the facilities to carry out such tests. So we also check that, and then we check their processes and their activities. At the end of the day, we also make sure that we pick the samples, and we also use the standards. Standards will specify the physical appearance, what is required from that product, the chemistry, that's the characteristics of that product, and the performance of that product, which can only be achieved or can only be confirmed by testing, which is the laboratory testing. So where they do not have such facilities, we pick samples from these factories and use and do the test in our laboratory and confirm the performance of the of that product. So the benefits, what they stand to gain, is in the course of these inspections, they get to know areas where they are not doing it well, and then try to take corrective actions. And where they are doing it well, they are encouraged. And then at the end of the day, because of the services we offer to them, they are able to see that at the end of the day, when we carry out the tests and to check the performance of this product, they'll be able to ascertain the quality and the performance of their products through our activities. So they stand to benefit a lot. And the benefit is not just benefiting in all these things. At the end of the day, the output is the most important thing. And the output and the essence of anybody in business is to satisfy your customer. And once you produce quality products, naturally you satisfy your customer. Definitely. And when you satisfy your customer, the next thing is that you have increase in production, because people want your product, and then increase in production leads to increase in income, and then you have strong economic benefits from using standards and doing it right the first time.
Awesome. But why are these standards not sold to manufacturers?
Standards are available. We have a technical library, both in Lagos and in Abuja, well-equipped technical library. Even in the state offices, we have semi-libraries where they keep some of these standards. So these standards are available, and anybody can come in and pick up a standard. But you know, you have to pay a fee to get that done, because we spend money to develop the standards. So the standards are available. It's not that we don't want to sell standards. They're available. Whoever comes gets the standard.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, take us through the impacts of these standards on the industries.
When you use standard, using standard makes you to do it right at the first time, because when you don't use the standard and then you don't get it right, you keep making mistakes, and in making mistakes you're losing materials, and in losing materials you're losing money. So the benefit, what you stand to gain from using standard, is that when you use standard, you get it right the first time, and then you're able to save costs. You're able to also satisfy your customer. You're able to, you know, increase even. You have an increase in production, because when your customers are satisfied because they are buying your product, which is of good quality, then you increase, you expand, it expands your business. You may not stay static in the same place. So any SME who implements standards stands to gain. And apart from that, standards are very essential when it comes to international market. Nobody is actually going to produce to say, let me just sell locally, because from local you want to send your things out. And so standards also, making sure that you produce your products in line with the requirements of the standard, facilitates your trade both at local and international level. Yes.
So how do you arrive at awarding MANCAP certificates to deserving companies? How does the SON arrive at that?
Well, we have, like you called it, MANCAP. MANCAP is a mandatory conformity assessment program. It's a conformity assessment program by SON that is specifically for locally manufactured products in Nigeria. And so you must meet the necessary requirements. The companies or SMEs, both the multinationals and the SMEs, are categorized according to their sizes. And then there are certain requirements that you must meet. Basically, the most important thing is that you must meet the requirements. Your product or the services that you're offering must meet the specific requirements in the relevant standards.
All right, your last word for viewers out there.
Well, my final word for the SME is that Standards Organization of Nigeria is available to assist you to grow your business, and we are available for you to make requests for standards where they are not available, and we have standards available for your activities, so you can go to any of our offices or online and you can obtain the standards that will help you to grow your business. Standards are beneficial to you because when you use standards, you get it right the first time, you don't make mistakes, you don't waste your materials, because when you make mistakes, you waste materials and increases your cost of production. But when you use standards and you get it right the first time, you get right the products, you produce quality products, and what happens, you satisfy your customers. And when you satisfy your customers, you have your production.
Thank you so much, ma. On that note, we want to thank you for educating us on the imperatives of standard. We look forward to having you again on the program.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Feedback is next. Alimot is standing by. Stay tuned.
Safety is a state of being safe. That is the condition of being protected from harm or other non-desirable outcome. Product safety is one of the things many of us take for granted until it's too late. Have you ever thought about the havoc that a substandard cement can cause? It could result in building collapse, leading to loss of lives and property. What about the fairly used tire on your car, which has been reported as one of the major causes of road accidents? That substandard electrical cable could lead to a fire outbreak. Even consumables such as food, drinks, and cosmetic products must be of good quality, else it becomes a threat to your health. You see, quality and safety go hand in hand. This is why most substandard goods are dangerous and unsafe for use. As an agency saddled with the responsibility of protecting Nigerians from fake and substandard products, the Standards Organization of Nigeria will not relent in its efforts to ensure only quality and safe products are available in our markets. However, we must realize that we all have a role to play to protect our lives and those of our loved ones from fake products. You can become a safety vanguard by insisting on quality and reporting any case of fake and substandard products to any of SUN's offices near you. Hello and nice to have you on the feedback segment of the program. I am Halimot Osifo. Now we'll take a look at some of the messages we received last week. Christopher Turaki from Jos says, God bless you for the good work you are doing. Please, where is your office located? In Jos. Thank you so much, Christopher. Sun Places State Office is at 10 Redfield Road, Bukuru, Jos. Ubamaka Ventures from Anambra says, please, how do I register my products with your organization? You can check our online registration portal at www.sun.gov.ng, or better still, you go to Sun Anambra State Office at 12 Umuwakpo Street, opposite Professor Ben Chooks Avenue, Abuja Estate, Onitsha Enugu Expressway. Anonymous Messenger says, what is the role of the SON with respect to fuel products? Standards Organization of Nigeria have standards for fuel products such as base oil and lubricants. We ensure that we reduce the influx of fake and substandard products through various measures such as sensitization programs and others. Lazarus Umugele from Delta says, please, where is your office in Delta State? Sun Delta State Office is at 19 Icos Road off Opanam Road, Asaba, Delta State. Richard says, I really enjoy your program and I'm sure it's impacting positively on the society. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Richard. Chidi Unduku says, I love this program. Let us always work with the SON to continue to have good products in Nigeria. Thank you so much, Chidi. We appreciate. And that's a wrap on the feedback segment of the program. For any information, you can call us or send in your messages to the number 0705-972-4455. Follow us on Facebook at Standard and You, Instagram and Twitter at Standard and You _. You can also send a mail to the address thestandardandyou@gmail.com. Do not forget we have videos online at youtube.com/standardandyou. Don't just view, like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks and enjoy the rest of the week.